We have liftoff.
Understand this. Understand this.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your damn hands together. Get ready to have your earlobes massaged by the one and only
Finesse Mitchell.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Finesse Mitchell. My partner in crime over there, switching the switches and turning the knobs. What's up, Mr. Gene D?
What's up, brother? It's good to be here.
How you been?
You know what, bro? It's been an adjustment, but I feel adjusted.
I feel adjusted too.
Yeah.
I felt so adjusted that I said, you know what? One of my favorite episodes of Understand This. I told you I had time. I had time to go back and just look at everything, reflect on everything.
Right.
And I said, ooh, let me listen to my podcast. Cantaloupe Love, episode 2.
I think it's a fan favorite too, actually.
Yeah.
I've heard so many people talk about that, just knowing our story. So, people, without further ado, the first guest back in the COVID-19 Rona days, my side piece and wife, Adris DeBarge.
Hey! So glad to be back.
What's up? First and foremost, you know, we all dealing with and going through a lot. It's so much to catch up on personally. Just us as friends.
Yeah.
Just us as professionals and us as friends. You know, we're both married. Jeannie's married. What's up, Amanda? And we both have families. We have 2 little girls, Elle and Eva. Jeannie has, what's their names?
I got Callin Blue, a
Callin
mastiff
Blue.
and a pit bull, my children.
A mastiff and a pit bull.
That's a lot.
Very
Jeannie
expensive.
is a real dog person. You know what I'm saying? Not just white people are dog people. Black people are dog. He's a real
Hey,
dog
but black
people.
dog people they got a pit bull or something.
They got, you know what I mean? It's running the gamut now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But and I realized that. It just hit me the other day because we were talking about I think Cole we were talking about. And he said, man, Cole has this lump on his neck. And I was like, oh, okay. He was like, yeah, we got to go get that checked out. And I said, oh, okay, cool. I said, well, you know, depending on how much that's going to cost, let me see Cole before he have to go. You know what I mean? I was literally like, where I was raised, if a dog get hurt, oh, my dog broke. You know what I mean?
Right,
it ain't like
right.
we find a new dog. We don't spend nothing on no vet bill.
There is
like
a
that.
cap
Yeah,
Right.
there's a cap. There it
Absolutely.
is. There's a cap.
Absolutely.
to this love.
And not to piss off any other PETA or dog people out there, but you know it is a culture. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so shout out to everybody who loves their babies, their children. I respect it. I understand it. Well,
You know?
I will say this. My wife's an awesome mother. And, you know, I don't think women who are awesome mothers get the credit they need for being, you know, just get to do. But what can you do? You can't keep hanging plaques. Can't pay them direct cash. I'm sure some women wouldn't mind that. But all I can do is acknowledge, and I'm saying you're an awesome mother because you
That's perfect, actually. Acknowledgement.
acknowledge it.
Public acknowledgement.
And they said chivalry
private.
was dead.
That's perfect. More of that.
She also said to me last night, and this then this is how we've been going with COVID, right? She also,
Yeah.
She also said to me last night, yeah, we could have had sex last night. And I'm like, what? Yeah, see, you should have asked.
It was retrospective. See, that's a mind game.
It was in the car driving over here. She was like, you know what I was thinking about last night? No, what? We could have had sex last night. I'm like, where was I?
I said we should have.
We should have, which
We
made it
should have.
worse.
Yeah, that is worse.
That's worse. We should have. Like, I haven't been asking enough, or she doesn't know. That's just like,
Yeah, what's the point of saying that afterwards?
Yeah, why did you do
why
that?
say that the next day? It's
So-
to draw attention to it.
No, the reason I said that is because we were coming to do the podcast today. And I just had this thought, like, you know, you're getting mentally prepared for, you know, the topics and
Right.
what are you going to.
Right.
And I was just thinking we should have had sex, because when you have sex, in marriage at least.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know. I can't speak for outside of marriage,
Right.
but I feel like it brings us closer. So I
Fair
felt
enough.
like the synergy would be really good today. You know, part of preparing for today
You know what?
would be to have sex.
I'm on board with that. See, I thought you said it just to be,
No, like,
you know, you could have sex.
Yeah.
You know?
No.
But it was really, but really what you're saying is
It
the
was-
podcast would have been better.
yeah, I had a business angle.
Always thinking.
I'm
Really?
thinking, how quickly did she come up with that? But that sounded kind of authentic.
It
I bought
actually
it.
was.
Yeah.
I bought it.
It was. When do I ever say we should have had sex?
Never. Never.
Unless there's purpose.
Right. Never.
So,
She
yeah.
is so afraid of having another baby. She is so afraid of having a third
Yeah,
child.
you don't want to try for a boy?
I'm done. I'm too
Too what?
old. I'm well into my 20s now, and I need to live.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm done.
I
But
will
no, I think synergy is, I notice a difference.
Do you think synergies outside of you two, do you think synergies have helped people during quarantine, or do you like know people who have gotten worse, drifted apart, gotten better? What do you think about just relationships and synergy during COVID-19?
You want to go?
I think, do you know anybody who's, not to say names, but do you know
I do know
anybody who's
people
struggling?
who have had crazy fights, and
Right.
now they were. I'm talking about boyfriend, girlfriend. I don't know, married folks. You know,
First
who
of
used to
all,
this.
we took that pause because we broke up twice. We broke up twice. But we had to get back together because we were quarantined. We couldn't leave. We go to
Couldn't
another
leave
room,
like that,
and then eventually somebody needed to know what a remote was, so you had to ask. You know what I mean? So we started talking again, got back together. But I have talked to a number of people who fly a lot, comedians and whatever. I've talked to some people in the industry, and then just regular people. But those two groups, those two categories, the flyers or the actors or whatever, they're like being home and really learning how to be home. Like there's no creativity going on. The creativity that you're doing during COVID, you're doing it. It ain't your job. You ain't got something to do. You ain't got something to prepare for.
Yeah.
You're doing it. So if you're like not employed, a lot of the comics aren't employed, but you like, oh yeah, well I'm gotta write these jokes. So you literally could do whatever your wife could do whatever the husband has been complaining about for the past 5 years. I've been asking you to do something for 2 years, and you ain't never have time.
It's still leaking over there in the garage. I've been asking about
There's
that.
so many things you can look around the house
Yeah.
that not only are you don't have any more excuses or reasons not to do, but self-improvement. I always said I was going to read 10 books. I just want to read 10 books in a year, let alone I know people who read 10 books a month.
Right.
But I just want to read more. I want to work out more. I've been abs. Oh, watch out, baby. They coming. Whatever. And then being there for your wife, being there for your kids, mentally being present in the moment.
Right.
I still have trouble disconnecting because it went from I'm here to I gotta get out of here to
Right.
But since I'm here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like she tells me all the time, phone's in my hand. I ain't got no work. All I'm doing is reading social media, staying on top of what's going on, and then what are you unplugging a little bit?
Right. Yeah. That's an interesting note about being in the moment, because like we have the same energy, like we expound the same amount of calories as humans. We have the same energy, but where do we put it? We used to put it into work. We'd go into work. That would expel some energy. We do, but we can't do those things. So what are we doing with that energy, and how do we be in the moment? I feel that about being unplugged, though. Like you definitely have to unplug sometimes to be right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's a new normal. So some people are, it takes adjusting. It takes an adjustment to realize that, okay, I am home all day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day with either this person or this person and our kids. And I have to mentally adjust and intentionally be grateful in these times for things that maybe I didn't notice before or appreciate. And I just think we've had to be really intentional about that, because it's so easy to get depressed or feel, claustrophobic, or be petty,
Absolutely.
because it's just not normal to be in the same space every day, all day with the same people, no matter how much you love them. So yeah, we've created all these new things that we do to, like jogging, and I have like new routines that I never had, and we're kind of just embracing it now. Whereas I think in the beginning it really took adjusting. It took a while to adjust, and so now it's like every day it's like, okay, what's our evening activity with the kids? Whether we're painting with them or just trying to embrace it rather than run from it. And I think that like it's so easy to just lock into your phone.
Right.
Easy for my husband to lock into his phone and escape, especially if that's your tendency to deal with problems or deal with any sort of frustration, is to escape.
Right.
That's not really my thing, but I think that's kind of your natural inclination, is to escape from something. So it's very easy to look in your phone and, get stuck there for hours if you let yourself. And so now I think it's important to just be very intentional about not doing that, and thinking, okay, what can we do in this moment to enjoy each other or be productive, or,
Earlier you were talking about being hangry and physically showing it.
Yeah.
I think that's my hangry. When I don't want to be bothered. I flat out don't want to be bothered. I could be hungry all day, but if I'm by myself, I'm cool.
Right.
Give me that moment to unplug, where even though she may do 80% of the work, for some reason that 20% I do is so heavy. It's heavy for a brother. So I'll be like, yo, I just took the baby from downstairs to upstairs. Don't nobody bother me for 3 hours. I'm unplugging. You know what I mean?
That 20% was heavy.
That 20%
That's funny.
was heavy. I just changed a diaper. Don't nobody bother me for 2 days.
Yeah.
So
one of the arguments in our house, reoccurring arguments, is that Finesse finds a way to become MIA suddenly. And, I've now realized when Finesse is missing, he's upstairs sneaking in and
I was
out.
gonna say, how is he missing though?
He sneaks upstairs
is so
and takes naps.
Racist against naps. She's a nap racist.
Because I feel like you should nap when the kids nap, right? Like that's
When do the
when
kids
it's
nap?
Well, around between 12 and 1:30,
Good nap time.
somewhere around there. So, it
Man.
makes sense to me that you would take your nap while they're
Like,
napping, so that no one is affected by your absence.
Right.
Right.
Be economic with your naps.
Right.
Be with
Exactly. Yeah, he doesn't. He does not comply.
I don't get hungry. I don't need to eat. I eat because I'm awake. But if I was asleep, taking a nap, I wouldn't be gaining senseless weight. Or I'm just not. I need a power nap. I'm a 20-minute to an hour power nap type of dude, and I'm back with a better attitude. And I don't see nothing wrong with that. She finds it offensive. She gets angry. She thinks that something's going to happen in those 20 minutes that she could not handle. Like, it's so many reasons. But here's the biggest thing about my wife that I know that I will say on this podcast. She doesn't want to see me doing nothing she can't do. Meaning,
What does that mean?
it means if I'm it's more like you can't. It's how dare you? You know what I mean? That's a different meaning. That's a
Oh,
different
like,
type of
I
anger.
can't do it,
If
so
I
you
can't,
can't.
how dare you nap if you got me up here doing 80% of the work and you gonna go take a nap? Like,
Yeah, I'm still trying to get over how that sound came out immediately. She said,
Cause she knows it's like, hey, I'm about to go for everything else. I can't really complain about, but I do know napping. Cause at first I was like, I'm about to go for a jog, and then she was just like, how long is that gonna take? It went literally, bro, from why are you doing that? How long it's gonna take? To her saying, you know what? I need to jog too. We both jogging. So now let's figure out a time we both can go.
Right.
Because she didn't even think I was exercising. She just thought I was escaping.
she thought,
Yeah.
ooh.
She's like, how you
ooh.
come back fatter? Where you go? Where you go?
You out there escaping?
Right.
Hey, but I will say, to power nap is a skill though. Some people just nap and don't come back from it. You know, they
Yeah.
nap for like 30, 40 minutes and then aren't active. If you could power nap and get through some work, that's a skill.
Yeah, he's not being truthful though. That's what's happening. That's what's going on here.
With the-
If it
hey,
were a
with the-
power nap, I would totally be down. Don't make me sound unreasonable now.
funny.
I would be down for that. But the 20 minutes turns into literally an hour, and then some social media scrolling after, or favorite movies on Netflix right now.
I was not ready for the full blast
Yeah,
today.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were coming full blast.
You asked about synergy during quarantine.
Now, let me tell you what she does.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
I don't know, man. It's so many. It's so much. It's so much that went on in our absence. And shout out to everybody who kept their podcast going.
The world literally flipped over in that time.
And they want to get us back out there so quick with no damn cure.
In your defense, because I think you forgot this, you did start a new TV show that had you working very regularly, regular people hours, and then you know, the two babies and COVID and
That's
having Elle home
You-
all day long and Eva. So yeah, you forgot about that.
You're like every department of the company. That like you're PR, you're the manager, you're like all that stuff.
I am actually. Yes.
Man, I tell
Talk
you.
about a pay raise.
Absolutely. You deserve it. It ain't going to come from me, but you deserve it. And that's what I want all these people out here to do. Just acknowledge. You ain't got to mean it. Just say it, though. You ain't going to get no raise, but yes,
say it.
You're
deserve.
awesome.
You are awesome. You are awesome. Man, shout out to all the married people who have found their better selves during this time.
Yeah, yeah.
If you did not go through some valleys, then you you're not doing COVID right. You're still in denial.
You're escaping.
You're escaping. You're like, when people say, how you doing? And you saying good, bro, that's a lie. And you're
Lies.
escaping.
Lies.
If you did not fight with your significant other and make up
At
or
least
come to an agreement to disagree.
at least 10 times. At least.
Yes, at least.
Right. Absolutely.
Then, you know, you're bullshitting COVID. You're bullshitting yourself during COVID.
COVID shows you what you're made of. It has shown us what we're made of.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't think we liked everything we saw. But we have grown.
Is it time to give one of those finesse analogies?
Ooh.
COVID made everybody Clark Kent every day for 90 damn days.
Ooh.
Clark Kent, as some of you know, is Superman. But the reason Lois Lane really loves Superman is because Superman get to be Superman. He is outstandingly above everybody else that she's ever worked, co-workers, even the same dude who have an honest life who sit right next to her and she can't tell that that's Superman just because he wearing glasses. That's how excited she is about Superman, right? Well, when you home during COVID and you not getting up and going to work and getting it and hustling, you Clark Kent every day.
Wow.
That you don't never have no time to turn into Superman. You ain't getting dressed. You ain't getting sharp. You ain't keeping your beard or your hair and your My wife was like, I got to get my hair colored. She notices it. I'm like, oh, okay. It look nice to me. You know what I mean? It's like we all have that thing we do that we feel that make us Superman.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? The way you keep yourself, groom yourself, the way you go off to work, the way you do something entertaining, the way you do your craft, your skill. You a dope painter. You're a dope producer. You're a dope whatever. But for whatever reason, you can't go and do it. COVID got you locked down. So now you in your drawers or sweatpants half the day. Hair is growing everywhere on men and women. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like, and if you have kids, you ain't even Clark Kent, bro.
Yeah, what is, that's a part of the equation I don't even have. I can't.
Because now it's 24/7 kids. Now it's when they
Exactly.
wake up, if they go to bed late and wake up early, which most of them do, you got to be up. They cannot be up with you sleep. So you really not looking your best and feeling your best. Because you got kids who all they saying is after you feed them is, now what are we going to do? Or I'm bored.
Thank you. Next.
My husband said, you said the other day, and so true. He said, I'm so sick of every day being about these kids.
My Superman.
I said, you're not wrong. Hey, you're not wrong. But let's figure out how you can push on anyways, because this is what it is.
Anybody in any of these movies push a kid towards Superman? They were so busy worrying about kryptonite. What if they pushed a kid closer to him? And I bet you he probably would have lost some of them powers. You know what I'm saying? Nobody tried kids. They were so busy looking for kryptonite to weaken Superman. Somebody should have tried a 4-year-old.
Yes.
Go sit on Superman's lap. I bet you can't fly. Because kids drain you to the point where you question your life choices.
They suck you dry.
Life choices.
Kids are the everyday man's kryptonite.
I actually said if I never met her on that movie set, then I wouldn't be here listening to this little kid tell me ain't shit. Looking at me like, so another nap? Like, get out of my face.
Mom, Daddy's napping.
And here's the baddest, wackest part about my household. When I say these kids tell on me, bruh,
I was just about to ask.
they literally, if I say no, I'm not doing anything wrong with being a parent. Dad, I want ice cream. No. Mom, mama, mommy.
Wow.
And they look back at me as they walking towards her like I'm in trouble. And it goes like that all day. I cannot say do something. I have to go from daddy to like bully for them to know I'm serious. I just can't say as daddy. Because they don't respect daddy voice.
Wow, look at how they're navigating the social structures in the house. They're looking at you talking about mom.
Yeah, that's because I'm the disciplinarian in the house. And we like it that way.
They lie.
We like it.
Them
It
kids
works.
lie. They you know what I mean?
Then
They
you get to
lie.
be the good guy.
Yeah, but I want to be the good guy that they listen to. You know what I'm saying? It's the craziest thing. But I'm sure there are, one thing we don't have a problem with is somebody that's 15. What if you got a 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old? You basically got another grown person that you've been in quarantine with that's young. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Think if you had somebody with a car that you were quarantined with that's 18, 19, 20, and you're telling them don't leave the house because we're quarantined.
Right.
Quarantine. They ain't listening to you. So now every time they come in, you looking at them like, you don't care about my life. Right. You don't care about me. Think about all the parents that's going through that right now.
Absolutely. All the kids who came home from college when college is shut down.
Going out every night. Oh, I got my mask.
That'll get you kicked out of my house.
I think some parents did too.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
said,
you
go
gotta
on,
make
get
a
out there.
choice.
Yeah, get out there. And Adris does not play. She does not play when it comes to COVID. She is the glove wearing, hand sanitizer on her hip like a utility belt. She got the mask.
Quick on the draw.
Bruh. Hey, Let me tell you how to reach us today. Let me tell you how to reach us today. I will need you to call that 818. 814-6241. 814-6241. Yo, that's how you reach us.
That's how you reach us.
That's how you get through.
That's how you get through.
Leave me a message.
Leave me your message.
And we'll get back to you. I said, that's how you reach us.
That's how you reach us.
That's how you get through.
That's how you get through.
Leave me a message.
Leave me a message.
Hey, we'll get back to. Hey,
We'll get back to you.
hey, we'll get back to. Hey,
We'll get back to you.
818-814-6241.
So what happens at 16, 17? Is it just
You know what else? I know what's gonna happen because me and my homie.
Yeah, we talked about this.
We talked about this the other day. We're gonna be old, so I'm gonna be asleep. That's what's gonna happen, and they're gonna be in the streets, and their mom gonna be worried to death.
Yeah.
right?
Because she can't sleep, but I can sleep through anything. So why stay up worrying when you can wake up, be refreshed, but they still came home at 2, 3 in the morning. You know what I mean? But at least you got some sleep. And my mom was a mom who could not sleep. We were talking about this the other day. Every time I went out, when I got a car at like 15, got my own car, purple RX-7, a Mazda RX-7 sports car, 2-seater, painted it purple. You couldn't tell me nothing, bro.
Finesse in the purple car.
The purple
in
Look,
purple
yeah, I didn't know
rain.
you then.
They called me
'cause
Purple Rain in high school. They called me Purple Rain in high school.
They called me that too for another reason though. I had these jeans with purple leather down the front. And those were my favorite.
Didn't we always have a
jeans.
favorite pair of jeans? And when we
Yeah,
look at them, when we got older, and we look back at them, we're like, ugh. Or those were just your favorite jeans, and they was just couldn't tell you nothing. You dressed up when you put those jeans on. That particular pair of jeans on. That was you dressing up.
Bro, we did
With
some
my
Corona
silk.
cleaning the other day, just going through old clothes, getting rid of stuff, and I was like, I wore these, jeans. I found some the other day.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Get
wish
'em
I
out.
still had mine. They're, Carl Kanai's coming back.
Found out you was dressing like Cam Newton at 19. You're like, what the hell? I used to wear this shit. What the
Cam Newton. Old.
Yeah, man. But anyway, I'm going to take this time out to tell all those couples that's quarantined together, hang in there. I feel some of you teetering. You're teetering. I feel it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
spirit.
telling you,
We're here to tell you
we here
divorce
to
is not
tell
an
you.
option.
It is not an option. Idris and I don't want that for you. Jeannie, I'm sure you don't want that for nobody.
Not at all.
Work through it.
It can be done.
It can
Unless
be
you're in
done.
an abusive situation, we have to say that.
I knew she was going to bring that up.
Then
You're a fool, boy.
we don't condone that.
We
don't
definitely
condone
do not condone getting so
Getting that.
angry to the point where you
that. Lay hands
can't
on
walk
somebody.
away.
Yeah.
You got to learn that. That is pivotal in marriage. Walking away.
Yeah.
Walking away. Getting that let me get some bring it down time. Let me just take a deep breath. Because it goes from a disagreement to pushing buttons to personal. Right?
Bro, say that process again, Bishop.
It goes from disagreements to
Pushing buttons.
pushing buttons to personal. You know, we used to joke on our podcast before we had COVID. Our running joke was what? And you drive trucks.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? A girl who
yeah.
got mad because the dude left the toilet seat up. But then somehow it always got back to, hey, you drive a truck. You know what I mean? Like, what that got to do with,
Right.
Anyway, it was funnier back in episode 3. But the point is,
Before the apocalypse.
But the point is, it's hard. It's hard. You get to see your people like all angles of nakedness, right? You get to see them at their worst daily, routinely.
Right.
You get to see, and they are very rarely during the quarantine physically looking their best. That person you met at the club or on the date or just that person putting their best foot forward. Oh, that's done.
And
know what I mean?
and we're not we're not even our normal selves right now because we're all under extra stress.
Extra, yeah.
You know, we're
under duress
trapped.
right
we
now.
are. We're in this house. We're grumpy. You know, we're sleep
It ain't even by
deprived.
choice. It's different when it's by choice. But when somebody tell you don't leave the house, the grown person in you say, "Who you can't." You get white a little bit. This is America. Cannot tell me. No, I'm just. But you automatically want to rebel or want to say, "I don't believe this is real. These numbers are fake. I don't believe 100,000 people died. I don't believe it's hit." They always say it's hitting the black community first. Why everything got to hit us first? You know, there's so many things you could say to why you're not gonna stay in the house. But if you're doing it for the safety of, like I said, we have an elder person living in our house. If you're doing it for the safety of the people who live there with you and or just each other, and you're just afraid of not knowing what the real facts are, then you're going to try to follow the rules. They said social distance if you go out. They said stay in your house. They say wear gloves. They say hand sanitizer. Wash your hands a certain way. You're doing all this stuff only to turn on the news and see people at the beach kissing. See somebody getting it in.
Right.
You know, you see picnics of block parties of Atlantans in the streets. You know,
Oh, not Atlanta. Come on, y'all.
man, Atlanta was in them COVID streets long before this civil unrest.
Oh, come on, Atlanta.
Right. Shout out to my niece. Anyway,
Oh no.
but yeah, so
I'm cooking a lot more.
she's cooking a lot more. I'm working out a lot more. I'm doing stuff around the house. I'm on my third project.
We cleaned out the garage.
We cleaned out the garage.
Ooh,
Yep.
Putting lights up in the backyard.
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a big home project. Putting those lights up.
Yeah, just looking at the house saying, "Oh, I've always wanted to wash this.
Right. Right.
Let me wash the patio covers."
Right.
You know, just little stuff. What we do for all them couples out there is we leave a lot of stuff on the floor. I ain't gonna lie. We don't pick stuff up as soon as we put it down. It's there for a couple of days. I've been walking past the same stuff a couple of days. A couple of plates be on dressers for a couple of days.
Hey.
But we clean up the kids' area and where they eat, and we keep the kitchen clean. But it's a lot of stuff on the floor.
But that closet, man.
And closets and just what we do with dirty clothes. I think we've given up on the hamper.
We wash the dirty clothes. We just don't fold and put them away once they're washed, right, babe?
Yeah.
You done all the work by that point, though. It's gonna sit there.
Yeah, they're clean. You know where to find them.
people. How many people are out there finding out that you're just not compatible with chores or the importance of them? Or now people have used the quarantine to actually say what they don't like. And you're like, but we've been together 4 years. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's when you know that, hey, you know, this forced togetherness has made you a little bit more bold and a little bit more vocal with, hey, you know what? Now that we're going to actually be living together,
Right.
I don't like when you
Few
just...
things I want to discuss.
Yeah. And people, it's all right to do that. It's all right to write down pet peeves that you were letting go because you were out of the house for half of the day or half of the week, for that matter, when you add up all the hours. But now that you're around each other, you know, it's okay to...
But give it 24 hours. And if you still care the next day, then bring it up.
So what are you saying? If somebody... If something was bothering you,
Don't bring it up.
Wait one more day.
Wait one more day.
Wait one more day. But if you've been saying it for like 3 weeks, you ready to bring it up, you still say wait one more day, even though it's been on your mind for 3 weeks?
No. Then you
Then bring it up. Okay.
can bring it
But
up.
in the moment, you're saying sometimes when you see something in the moment and that bothers you, wait one day or wait until it just continuously happens.
Well, I wouldn't bring it up when you're feeling emotional about it. Right? Mm-hmm. You should wait.
All right. I like that.
And I think during this time, we just have to, as couples, we need to have a lot of grace for one another during this time because we're in these unusual conditions, right? Mm-hmm. And so, like I was saying, we're already agitated because of the circumstances, and we're,
Who's having more sex? Who's having more sex?
people without kids.
People without kids.
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
I was reading something and it was saying that activities that couples are doing are baking
Eating.
bread, specifically baking bread, running, and sex.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about wine drinking?
I bet that is probably up.
Yeah.
I think you would. I think if you're married and or single, and you pouring you a vodka tonic 3 times a day, that's an issue. But I think
That's an issue.
True.
Right.
But I think when people crack open a wine bottle and pour themselves a glass of wine, it's more socially acceptable. You don't realize you do it every night around 6 or 7 p.m. and that sometimes you have 2 glasses or you nurse that one glass.
Right.
But it's a lot of people pouring wine and going on to Instagram and the club quarantine and listening to D Nice spin records. You know what I mean? And that's your evening. That's your weekend. That's your kids are in the bed turn down time, but you don't realize you are drinking every day. You know what I mean? And I ain't judging nobody, but I'm just saying, is that your thing? You know what I mean? What are we noticing that we're doing more to cope?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
To cope, just to cope. I never drank this much. You know me. Come on. You know how many people are having that, are saying that? How many women are saying that? Well, it's only because there's nothing else to do and we're quarantined. You know what I mean? But I know a lot of people pulling out wine every time they go to the grocery store. They're like, I'm getting wine. You know what I mean? That's just their thing. So,
I've never thought about that.
How many people blazing more?
Exactly. Are people consciously going, what am I doing more? How am I reacting to this? Mm-hmm. That's so interesting.
And how much of the state's, economy and government and the way the state officials are thinking, where they're like, dispensaries are essential. Really? That's what you tax the most, though. And you're going to have a steady clientele. So you still need some revenue coming into the state, even though people aren't going to work. So is that why you kept them open versus... That's why you kept open liquor stores and dispensaries, because you don't want people to kill each other, or because you needed that tax. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely agree, Miss Adris DeBarge. The kids play a huge role with how people quarantine.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I would imagine if you are in love and you're in a relationship and you're just going back and forth over to each other's houses, or you live together, or you've just decided to just move in during quarantine, and then you go home sometimes on the weekend, change out your clothes, and and you don't have money problems currently, and that's what you're doing. That's what you've been doing. That's pretty chill. Like, you're like, first of all, I'm not hurting for money. I had some savings, or I get to work from home, but I'm going over to my boyfriend and my girlfriend house. Or I live with this person and we ain't got no kids, so we watching every dope show on Netflix, and we, you know what I mean? That's a totally different quarantine than what some people are doing. Mm-hmm. That would be a whole lot more fun than getting up at 6:45 and changing diapers and making oatmeal.
Yeah, Jeannie.
Hey, you know what? This whole time you've
Jeannie's
been
living the
listening.
dream.
You see, I'm silent. I was like, yep, that doesn't
Yes.
sound fun. I'm not gonna lie, we have gone through the Netflix and Hulu catalog.
Yeah.
Gone through a bunch of stuff.
Have
you watched stuff?
I just signed up for Hulu. I'm trying to watch that, the Rami.
Mm-hmm.
But I just signed up for Hulu. But yeah, every time I check in on Jeannie, and I'm like, what you doing? Bro, I just created... first of all, I've been cooking, bro. I'm in the lab. Check my post, and it's Jeannie in a robe.
Oh, no.
Breaking down a gospel song. And make... I don't know. It's just the creativity that I feel like he's been doing on his time, on his own time. I envy that. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, wow. Man, as soon as them kids be like, we sleepy, we going to bed, then I'm like, I'm sleepy. My brain is sleepy. I'm tired.
I hear every word of what you're saying. I hear it.
I know a lot of people got to be saying, yo, bro,
yeah,
it's like Groundhog's Day every day. Same thing. And we literally got a freaking gopher in our backyard.
We do.
Chewing up the damn flowers.
And a
really?
Toad. And a toad.
And a toad.
Yeah.
Wow, that is like
They have
Americana right there. You got your gopher and pest in the backyard,
Yep.
and you just built the lights.
All right.
It's a slice of pie.
Way back in the day, they used to have roaches. There's no other way to say that. There's no other way to say it. I'm sorry. I couldn't think of no cute way to say what they were, but you know.
Hey man, you got to get into it.
Insects.
I had bugs. Oh,
No,
I'm
when
sorry,
you
we
get
had
on
bugs.
stage, start that way, please.
A long time ago, I had roaches. And you had roach spray.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you knew not to leave food out. You knew not to leave shit on the counter. You just knew it. My daughter now eats food off of the floor. My 2-year-old, I got a picture of her just popcorn spilled on the floor. She dove on it and just put her tongue on the floor and just licked up popcorn. You know, sometimes I come downstairs and there's food left out. You know, but I say all that to say that times have changed.
I was wondering what the point was.
Times have changed. There's no roaches. There's no.
Now we have toads.
living
Now
good.
we have,
In
now
our
we have
garden.
gophers,
Gophers in our
and
garden.
toads. You know, we do have a cricket problem.
That too.
But hey, if you're out there listening to this podcast, this is called Understand This. I'm here with my man Jenny Dees. He's a super dope producer, and just historian. Jenny, what is something we were talking about so many things. You have so many adult conversations. The conversations you have when you're like in your teens versus talking to your boy and as an adult and you're like, yeah, this redlining sucks. And you're like,
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it sure does. The way they group us all together. And you're like, there was no conversation you would have back then versus, yeah, they're putting a stadium in Inglewood. Yeah, just trying to drive up the property. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Versus, you know, them conversations back in the day. Did you see Janet Jackson in that Pledge of Principle video? Did you see them jeans?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you said something last podcast how there aren't other distractions. So where are you putting your energy and time into?
Right,
And for me, that kind of has been research. I've been scouring just National Archives, Smithsonian records, the Library of Congress. But
Versus other people like, I watched Ozark. I watched Tower Heist.
I played some Xbox for a couple hours. I beat this kid and
I'm about to start this. People, there's a show on Netflix called The Last Kingdom. I'm a huge fan of it. It's like Game of Thrones. It's just like, it's basically when the Saxons came in and invaded, the Danes came in and invaded the Saxons in England, and they were trying to forge England. They were trying to create an England, and basically it's called The Last Kingdom. It's so dope. So anyway, that's my recommendation. If you don't read books, get on Netflix, watch The Last Kingdom. Get past the first episode, which is not a lot to ask. If you watch Better Call Saul, that took 10 episodes for you to get it and get into it. But this one, it's dope. And it's so anyway. I just want to throw that out there. Sorry, guys.
And I recommend YouVersion because
What is YouVersion?
What's that?
see,
Is that?
if you like your morning devotions,
It's an app, right?
yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
an app. It's an app, and I've been
I know,
using
I've
that a
seen it.
lot more. So that's what I've been doing with my quarantine time is
Getting closer to God.
spending more time, on my spirit man, as they
Nice.
call it. And so there's this really cool app that I use called YouVersion where you can just pick your topic and there's a devotion for that, like a 5-day or 7-day devotion.
Oh, wow.
Like on raising girls, which I'm interested in. 'Cause
Right.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
Figuring this out as we go. But all, from a godly perspective. So yeah.
I think it's so interesting if we zoom out and look at how Americans are reacting. I do think the implementation of routine, whether it's cooking, whether it's devotionals, whether it's working out, I think routine is like this thing we're figuring out. How do I perfect my routine and my day and my schedule? I think that's like a really prevalent trend right now, mastering the routine.
I love routine.
I highly recommend that you get out of the house and take walks.
Yeah.
I highly
Yeah,
recommend
definitely.
Yes.
that you either put on some music over your ears and or just get in tune with whatever sounds are in your neighborhood and walk your block. You ain't got to walk far, but definitely walk your block and just breathe. Just get outside. And if you want to jog, jog. And if you want to run, run. But getting out of that house and doing something outside of that house and meeting neighbors and waving.
And waving, yeah.
And waving. Not just seeing them, but waving. Let somebody say hi or you say hi. I guarantee you by the time that the end of the week, I've learned my next door neighbor's name. We've been there a year. I know her name. I know a couple of my neighbors' names. When we lived in an apartment, my wife had been living there before me for like 5 years. The person who lived across the hall, she did not know them. She did not know them. The person that lived next to her, she did not know them. And I'm like, how do you like live next to people?
Blast.
What if there's an emergency? Like, how do you not know people?
Hey, help.
You know, hey. So,
You.
Remember me?
I'm locked out. Hey, excuse me, person.
Remember that time you asked for sugar?
Yeah, you know. I think that's important. I think if you're in a relationship, physical touch is important. Doesn't have to be sex, but sit on each other. Sit on each other. Like somebody on the couch, go sit on their laps. I mean, they only got one, but sit on their lap, sit on their legs, sit on something. Make them move you.
Unless you have a 5-year-old who won't allow that, which
Yeah.
we discovered.
We got
Elle does not like us.
we got them
sitting on
kids
each
that get
other's lap.
really pissed off if they see us touching.
Really?
They like
we gotta
Yorkies,
we
dude.
just got to get them used to it.
They like Yorkies and Cocker Spaniels and,
So
and
it's
they-
not like, is it like a cooties thing, or is it like
No.
that's
No.
that's mine?
it's
No.
mine.
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 Yeah.
The 2-year-old, she would definitely come stand between
But
us.
like one over the other, or like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they
Mommy.
definitely hugging mommy.
okay,
Pushing
don't touch
daddy.
mommy.
Don't touch
Yeah.
mommy.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mine.
That's what that
Mine.
brainwashing. My 2-year-old, that's she says it 20 times a day. And we trying to get her out of it, but that's her thing right now. Mine. Oh, mine.
Yeah. Elle comes downstairs from her nap, and Eva is already awake with me down in the kitchen. And she sees Elle coming down the stairwell, and she grabs my leg and says, "Mine."
Oh, wow.
And she's like, "Don't even come over here to mom, because I've already got mom." So
So how do you teach we? Like, what do you?
every
What do you?
day.
Yeah, it's like,
Sharing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a process.
Sharing.
I mean, that could be a-
we've created this little jar that I have in the playroom, and we put these little like, I don't know, I forget what to call them, like little fuzzy balls,
Little balls, yeah.
for lack of a better word.
Like
I
those
can't think of
arts
it.
and crafts fussy
Yeah,
things.
exactly. So whenever Elle like self-sacrifices and does something for her sister or anyone in the household, you know, puts them before herself, she gets a ball in,
Oh, wow.
in the jar. And then, you know, once it reaches a certain point in the jar, then she'll, you know, get a prize or a sleepover with me or something. You know, she loves for me to sleep in her bed with her. So we're trying to teach that, because it is
Right.
hard. You know,
Absolute-
selfishness is innate. So,
Yeah.
you know, we want them to be best friends.
And
we
she brought
want
up
them-
something, people. We are definitely not for your kids sleeping in your bed.
No.
It has to be like a reward or something, because pretty soon they will not only will they never want to go to their bed, but that's their room. Like, you have given them that permission, and that is in their mind that, you know, that's their bed. We're going to watch what I want to watch. Daddy, move over. I need my space. And all of a sudden it's 3. And then it's like, to me, it's just not good. You know, you don't want to be like, go to your room as a punishment, because now they're leaving your room. So now you're
Right.
making them go to their room as a punishment, or you're just taking that away from them.
Right.
When it never should have been theirs to from the jump. You know what I mean? So I do like that we're on the same page with that.
Oh, that's a
'Cause I
major
got
key.
So many people that I know that like, yeah, my kids sleep with me. Yeah, how your husband feel about that? You know,
Yeah.
how your wife feel about that? Yeah, you know,
Hey,
it's
that's a
like-
life key. That's a DJ
No, I
Khaled
mean,
key
it's
right there.
challenging enough to like have time one-on-one with my husband, let alone to bring the kids into our bed. Like, forget it. We already devote most of the day to them as it is. So no, there has to be a sacred place for just he and I. And so that's it. So yeah.
But parenting differently. Some people do it, and they don't know that they don't agree till it's too late. I don't think a lot of people talk enough, but they know they want to have a baby. They know that. They work really hard at doing that. But then they do not know how they want to parent. And it's stuff that worked for Adris that I would think that ain't gonna work. Well, why are you doing that? Okay, well, that's what you want to do, and it's things that I want to do or lack thereof, things that I want to do, where she's like, we should totally be doing that, and you should want to do that, and da da da. So when we do come together and we're like, we both agree, or a lot of times, because I have girls, I think I'm more hands off. I think if I would have had boys, I would be like, hey, you gonna make them soft, And they 2 years old. Hey, get that pacifier out of his mouth. Right. But my daughter's basically Maggie from The Simpsons. She stay with a pacifier, and I don't mind because I'm like, I don't know. Is that what they're supposed to do? I don't know. It doesn't mind me. She ain't crying. I know that much.
Right.
But if it was a boy, I would probably be like, get that passy out your mouth.
Right.
And I would be mad at myself for calling it a passy. Get that passy out of your mouth. Yeah. You said you got some questions for us.
Yeah, y'all want to play this TikTok game?
Yes, I want to play.
Let's do it.
Now, normally you point to the other
game?
person. So a couple is blindfolded, and then someone asks a question out loud, and the question pertains to one of the two people, and then the people in the couple need to point towards who the question pertains most towards. So who's the more romantic person? And then they point.
Oh yeah, I know this game.
But we got to say it. So
because we're audio.
So
Yeah.
do I say finesse or do I just say me?
You gotta.
Or I say me
Oh,
and
that's a
her.
good
like
question.
Me, her.
Oh, yeah.
Me, her.
what should we do?
We should say names.
Yeah.
Say our names. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the format of the question is who's most likely to. I'm just going to give the end of it. So who's most likely to,
So I would say finesse after the end of this if
if it
was
pertains to, yeah.
I would rather
Unless
just
you
say
say
me.
me.
because
Oh
they-
no! Why don't you say me
I'll
and
say
then the
me.
other person's name?
Yeah. Right.
So you would
'Cause
say
if it's
me.
me, I'd rather say me. I don't want to talk in third person. So I say
But if it's them, you could say.
Why not
Adris.
every
Or I
other
just say
time?
her. What'd you say?
Why not every other time?
Yeah.
You love speaking in third person. You know him, Jeannie. Do I lie?
Hey, Finesse Mitchell ain't gonna be listening to all this bullshit.
Finesse
like
will
I'm not in the
transition
room.
into character, and I will be like, "Wait, I'm lost. Wait, are you talking right now, or who's talking about who?
How
Okay,
meta
wait.
are we right now? That's funny. That's funny. All
Just
right.
because I paint colorful pictures when I explain stuff. Jesus.
All right.
Okay, but we love you. Okay,
Who's most likely to get arrested?
Me.
Finesse.
We got to figure out how to do it at the same time.
Was I supposed to say him? Oh yeah, let's do him, her.
Yeah, let's do him, her.
Okay.
Me.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
How
most
can we do
likely,
that this-
most likely.
But I
to
can't
get
say
arrested.
him. Oh, no, I would say me or I would say
and I'll
her.
say- yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But we got to do it at the same time somehow.
Okay.
All right.
But for sure, him.
We got that one.
Okay. Who's most likely to act on a crush?
Her.
Me.
Who's most likely to join the army?
Her.
Him.
I ain't joining the army.
Me either.
Who's most likely to win the lottery?
Her.
Him.
Be a couch potato.
Him.
Her.
Really?
Be late to an event.
Her.
Him.
Lose their phone.
Her.
Him.
Confront a burglar.
We gotta
Wait,
stop.
okay,
First of all, let's stop. Let's stop. There has
was
to be
like
some
4 in a
truth.
row.
There has to be some truth to this game. We cannot just be saying him and her when she knows damn well the answer is her. Because right now, I want a third person.
Right. So
But
the
do you
first
want us
one
to
was
think about it or give our instinctive response?
Well, your instinctive response was wrong 4 times in a row. And so it's causing me to
We'll
bring a
discuss
pause
later.
to the game.
Okay, we're gonna discuss after.
yeah. Let's go through and then yeah.
Who's more late?
Okay, we'll discuss after. Let's finish.
All right. Here we go.
Questions.
Who's most likely to confront a burglar?
Him.
Me.
Who's most likely to always carry a pen?
Me.
Me.
Who's most likely to start a fire?
Her.
Him.
Who's most likely to go surfing?
Me.
Him.
Who's most likely to cheat on a test?
Me.
Me.
Who's most likely to take a great picture?
Him.
Me.
Who's most likely to talk in their sleep?
Him.
I hit in my sleep. I don't talk.
You do
I hit
both.
my sleep.
Okay, keep going.
Get a weird tattoo.
Him.
Me.
Adopt a stray dog.
Me.
Him.
And weird one to end on, but become bald headed.
Him.
Me.
That's in here.
That's weird.
That is
New
a weird way to end.
questions.
Yeah. Well, TikTok gives 65. I don't know if you want to go through 65, but
Who's more likely to initiate?
but who did you? What did you agree? What did you disagree on?
Who's most romantic? Quickly.
Her.
You.
Me?
Really?
Ah!
Wait, we got to go back before we keep going. Because who's most likely to win the lottery? That's the first one.
I said
okay.
him because he
I play.
He plays.
I
I don't play.
But see, a player knows that the person who never plays is the person that will likely
See, you
win.
thought too much. That's why you got to quickly.
I overthought.
answer.
I
You
said it
overthought
quick because I already knew. I said, knowing me, my ass playing so much, I never win. She play one time, she'll win. So that's why I instantly said
Oh,
her.
okay.
This is the second one you disagreed on. Who's most likely to be a couch potato?
Well, her.
Why?
Because that's what you do. You sit down on the couch
When?
when the kids are asleep.
Okay. Now we have this on
He
tape.
didn't say time of day.
He already said earlier in the segment that at the
Oh.
end of the night, I have this spot in the bed that I go to.
Right.
So I don't sit on the couch.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, a bed potato. She's
Okay,
a bed
I'm
potato.
potato. Okay.
Okay. All right. I changed my answer. I'm a couch potato because I be knocked out. I'm knocked out on that.
Wait, so is the question? Well,
I thought who's more likely to be lazier.
that's what I thought. The couch potato means the lazy person.
Right.
Hmm.
All right.
right, well, this was
me.
think
I'm
I'm
saying
late?
me. I'm saying me. I'm saying me.
But not
Because-
not to
No, I'm
spare
just-
my feelings.
No,
but
not to spare your feelings. Just because I want to have sex. I'm saying me.
Want to have synergy
I
later.
want to have synergy later.
oh my
All right,
goodness.
this was the one. Who's most likely to be late to an event?
Adris freaking DeBarge.
Takes forever to
This
get
is the
ready.
one that you all were
Okay.
like, no.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. No. Here's the reason. If it's me that causes us to be late, it is because I'm dealing with the kids. Honestly,
not my fault.
honestly.
I have to get that cat
But
back.
had you asked who takes longer to get dressed, which is how I interpreted that question, it's him.
Adris.
It's him.
Adris. Adris. I'm not going to sit up here and
All
say
right, well-
I take
Okay.
longer to get ready with my wife.
If you divorce the fact that you're coming together, say you're both going to a separate event, who's most likely to be late to an event?
Adris.
Him.
Adris. She's always late. She is always late.
No, it's because he will sit around
She
and
ne-
he will not start getting ready until it's time to leave. And
I
then
haven't
he'll
talked
try.
to-
So what
Idris.
happened? What happened on the way to the studio today?
Adris took forever to get dressed. You know what she told
No,
me?
I had
This is
to
what
go
she
with
told
kids.
me. Go outside and turn on the car and just let it get cool. Who talked like that? That's old school talk. That's like
cool
go-
the car off for me.
Because
Yeah,
she
get the air
wasn't
going.
ready. Because she knew I was
Yeah.
like, so you ready? No. So now
I
she
don't-
gave me something to do.
I don't wear a lot of makeup and I have wash and go hair. So
Whatever.
does not take me a long time to get ready.
Adris, you just naturally late. You're a naturally late person.
Okay.
I tell her every night when she go to her 9 to 5, lay out your clothes. Like my mom used to tell me, go lay out
What do
your
we
clothes.
when we used to go out pre-quarantine, I used to always say, let the record show Adris was ready. I always, because he does always try to blame me for us being
You
late,
know
but
what?
it's not always. It's usually him, and I won't say why because you know why, but I'm not going to say. I'll
This
let
is
you
what she
say.
does. It's so funny the perspective of things and how people see things. I'm so ready to go that I start doing projects. I start a task waiting for her. And when she does decide to come down and I'm like, oh, almost done, because that's how much time I had, she'll say, let the record show Adris was ready. And I'm like, okay, let me finish, putting, you understand what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say.
you picked up something
I
in the
picked up something
meantime.
to do to actually fix or do or take out the trash. And she sees me with trash in my hand. And she's like, oh, I thought you was ready to go. I said, I'm going to just take this. Well, let the record show. I'm like, it don't even work like that. The record don't even work like that. So, anyway.
That's not how
We'll
records work.
we'll never solve this one.
And then the other one was who's most likely to lose their phone?
She is. She's lost 3 phones.
Have I?
She breaks them, loses them,
The
cracks them.
kids break my phone. My phone
Drops
is filled
them.
with children's apps because my oldest uses my phone. So yeah, she
Right.
drops it a million times. He doesn't have anything kid friendly on his phone.
Yeah,
so
but
my
I will
daughter
never
doesn't
lose
even
my
bother.
phone. I don't lose my phone.
Oh, we're talking. Well, I don't lose.
He
my
said
phone either.
lose phone. You've lost your phone, Adris. Or broke your phone. So anyway.
Anyway,
Speaking of records, and for the record, hilarious.
who said I love you first?
To who? To each other?
Yes.
I said I
He
love
did.
you. I said I love
He
you
did.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I already knew.
And why do you think you're less romantic than me?
You know what? Because I thought you might get offended, so I was just trying to go get one for the win.
You have to be
for
honest.
later.
This is only fun if you're honest.
I think I'm pretty romantic.
I think you are too.
Yeah,
I think I'm not. I don't think I'm as romantic.
I think you are pretty. What is the word? Adris does it. No, Adris completes the task. Adris thinks of it, carries it out, does it. It arrives. I'm like, we're gonna go to Vegas. We're gonna get a hotel room, and we're gonna have dinner at the. You know what I mean? Or let's
Right.
go somewhere. Where Adris is like, it's your birthday, and she'll set up a party, and you'll just walk into 20 people in the house. That to me, it's a different type of romance, but she's thorough because she gives
Right.
herself a task of getting something accomplished. Where I'm like, how much of a hot air balloon? 'Cause we could, you know what I mean? So
Right.
I think it's a different type of romance. I don't think I'm more romantic because there are times when I'm just like, I don't want to do nothing. But she's like, yeah, well, it's too late. I've already ordered this.
I think we're both very low on the romance scale coming into this relationship. So let's say that.
okay.
So you got more
Let's
romantic.
say that. But I think
Yeah.
he's probably more romantic than me. But I don't mean that to say that Finesse is Mr. Romance. But neither one of us, I think, are strong in that department.
I think we didn't even need that. We didn't even need that for the podcast.
we needed to color that.
No, we ain't need to color shit. We ain't need to color nothing. It was colored. She didn't like my answer, and she went back and stabbed me.
Oh my God.
That's the commercial for this episode right here. That's the promo. We didn't need that.
That is funny. Well, I think it was like probably 60-40%
Yeah.
agree, disagree.
I know what I've made up in my mind. I think I've made up in my mind that I'm in it for the long haul. You know? Sometimes that
Because
doesn't.
he's a glutton for pain.
He's a masochist, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But I think that's important. Do you know anybody that's like, yeah, that's my lady, and they come out of nowhere like, yeah, that's my lady. I know people like that. They have revelation one day like, she a good lady. I'm like, you've been married 10 years. Yeah, but it really took a good 4 years for us to. I think that's okay. I think it's okay for people to know they want to be together and then figure out their love language and love and how they're gonna,
Right.
in the relationship. If you're in it for the long haul, if you're in it to win it, and you find out more later versus up front, Some people rush, and then some people are like, I got to get to know her. Some people are like, I dated her for 7 years. I knew her backwards and forward. Then we got married. And then some people are like,
Right.
a decent number of years. I know this is what I want. I'm going to work toward, making this work.
Right,
I think
right.
as long as two people are sane and willing to try, and that's the key thing, try. You try every day. Every day you got to have that mentality of, I'm going to learn something new possibly, or I'm going to try, or I'm going to make the first move to squash a beef. All that stuff is important for longevity,
I know some people who got into a relationship like right as lockdown was happening, and then shit hit the fan because you're learning about the other person and you're learning what you don't like and communication styles. And so to your point about like having a long end in mind, some people got into a relationship at the beginning of quarantine and now they're like, what the hell am I
Right.
doing?
I don't like being on the phone a lot. I think she's more of a phone talker. But then I think we found that out early in the relationship, where it's like, I don't want to sit on the phone unless I'm like really ready to be like, what's up? And then I'm gonna hold the phone all day or have you on speakerphone, and then But I'm not a phone person. I don't think. You think I'm a phone person? On the phone person, not on my phone. Social media person.
Like speaking, talking to.
Yeah, I guess not. No, you're not. I remember when we were dating, you did not like to talk on the phone. Well, you told me that back then, that you didn't like to talk on the phone, but I knew that you made the effort because you knew that I wanted to talk on the phone.
Is that weird? I don't think that's weird that somebody's not a phone person.
I don't think so.
I use it for information. I use it for, hey, you want me to come through? Hey, you want to go grab something to eat?
Right.
Hey, I'm outside. Hey, I'm outside. Hey, I'm outside.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like information.
You are a texter though. You love to text.
Me too.
Absolutely.
I'm text based.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you know what? I
the
guess
phone call is quicker.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. There's some things you can't do in a text.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can't show the emotion of something in a text. So sometimes, but I don't know. I don't know why I'm like that, but it definitely is in spurts because there are times I'm like, hey, I called you. Where were you?
Yeah.
And, she's accepted that. I like to hear my wife on the phone, oddly enough.
Why?
I don't know. I just like to hear having a conversation,
But why? I need you to identify.
I think
what
he
that
likes your
is.
voice.
Oh,
Like the first time you came on the podcast.
Is
I
that
did
what
say
it
that,
is?
right?
Yeah, the first time you came on the podcast, you were like, hello.
Yeah.
You gave the radio voice. He likes your voice, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I thought you meant you like to hear me talking to others.
I like to hear you talking to others.
Yeah, that's
I
what
like
he meant.
to hear
Well, it's hearing your voice.
Yeah, it's hearing your voice. I like to hear you talk to others. I like to hear you engaging with others. I like to hear you talking to somebody outside of me.
That's
and
what it
those
is.
kids.
It's because ever since we had kids, he can't identify and articulate this. So I'm gonna say. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Here we go.
Why did she just call me dumb?
No, I because I know you and I know what your complaints are. So he only sees me in mommy mode, right?
Okay.
Like majority of the time.
Okay.
And he's always nudging me like, have you talked to any of your friends lately? Have you checked in on your cousins? Have you, has anyone called you and checked on you? He's very concerned about me having outlets. And so I think he gets enjoyment seeing me actually be like the old Adris, like, kikiing on the phone with my girlfriend or whatever. So he likes to see those other facets, because he only sees me as, not only, but majority of the time, like I am just like mom now. So we are so deep in these parenting trenches that it's just like, oh. So yeah, it's refreshing, I'm sure.
But for men, it all circles back to the happier she is.
Right.
Yeah. You need a happy woman in your house. Or your house just ain't going to run right.
That's why I'm a good cook. Keep her fed and happy.
Yes,
and that's why I am a good eater.
Order out. Order take out.
I make her feel appreciated with the food she cooks. You know what I mean? And that's just as important as cooking. Somebody appreciating you cooking for them.
Yeah.
She told me just the other day, and I didn't mind her saying this at all. After you eat my food or when you taste it, your choice, you better say it's delicious. And I totally got it. She said, I don't want to hear good. I don't want to hear it was okay. I want to hear it was delicious. I got no problem with that. 8 times out of 10, it's usually delicious. And it's more about her taking the time to cook for me.
Right.
And when she wants to be rewarded for the effort. And then, like I said, 8 times out of 10 is good. But it's the effort of, hey, I just cooked for the whole family. Again. So y'all can at least eat it when it's warm and say it's delicious.
Yeah. And I don't want to have to ask.
You're like.
Yeah, I don't want to have to.
I don't mind that trade-off. Fellas.
This is so
Fellas, that's
good,
a layup.
babe.
Fellas, that's a layup.
Hey, give it to him.
That's a layup.
Make
Some of you guys out there saying, oh, but you going to be dishonest. It ain't being dishonest. It's what she wants to hear. And it's good.
And it is really
So why
good.
don't I change the word from good to delicious? She likes the word delicious better than good. No problem. Done. Next, what else? I'm killing this game. I'm killing this relationship shit. Like, what else? So it's like, if those are the challenges that
It would be like his work. You know what I mean? Like if I like saw a show and I was like, and I didn't even say anything and he had to ask me, what'd you think? And then on top of that, my response was, oh, it was good.
Yeah.
You would be like, what? Mm-hmm. It was good.
I totally agree with that.
That just blew my mind.
Yeah.
That just blew my mind. And I agree.
If I go to Laugh Factory Comedy Club, Improv Comedy Club, if I go to the comedy clubs every weekend, which I do here in LA, if I'm not on the road, I still go to the comedy clubs even when I'm in town. Mm-hmm. So she doesn't even still get me on a full weekend because I'm still going to the comedy club. Mm-hmm. Even on my weekends off, mm-hmm. I'm leaving the house. And she decides to come, she better hear some new jokes. And I know she wants to hear something new because what am I out there going out so much if I'm just telling the same jokes? And I would rather perform for this one person in a group of 300 to hear her say, I never heard that one before. I like that. Because I'm like, yo, when I go out and I leave the house, I want you to see progress on this material. And it's not just me giving a good show. It's me impressing you that I'm working. Because I feel like me doing jokes that I know work, and I'm about to just blow the roof off the Laugh Factory. I love doing that. But then I also love throwing in stuff that she hasn't heard or that you haven't heard, because you see me so much and you be like, I like how you switch that.
Yeah.
And with my shows, I never tell it the same way.
No,
ever.
you don't. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have the jokes, but I'm definitely not getting to them the same way. So, but yeah.
I love watching you perform in LA.
Thank you.
That was romantic as shit. By the way, that was like a La La Land ass moment right there.
I do.
There's a spotlight on Adris as he
I
tweaks
do.
the joke for you. You're Black Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
We get in the car and she says, I really like this joke and that joke or whatever. And I'm like, I do it all for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, that's what I needed to hear. That's what I wanted to hear. And I think we've been together long enough where she knows that's what he wants to hear. So she gives me that. Mm-hmm. But I know it's also genuine because she tells me the joke. Or she pulls out her phone and shows me a list of her notes from my routine.
Hey,
I take notes.
What do the notes sound like? What do the suggestions? I got to know what the notes sound like.
Oh, they're usually like one word, like,
yeah.
And because my husband does not have clean shows,
right.
It's usually like some obscene word.
Right.
But I just know that I get so wrapped into the show and enjoying it and laughing that I know that if I don't jot it down, I'm not going to remember. And I know that you're looking for those notes afterwards. Mm-hmm. And I want to be able to tell you, so I write it down. I make a note in my phone so I can say, hey, I really like that, or this kind of fell, up in the balcony, wasn't as well received when you said this, or, but usually it's like, I really like, that was so funny, or
I like that.
This transition.
Comics think once you funny, once you know you're funny, and then once you're making money at being funny and you know you're funny, there are a lot of times you get up there and you do 5 minutes of bullshit and phoning it in. And you're still thinking they're enjoying themselves, and they are because they're seeing you. But it's nothing like somebody saying, yeah, them first 4 minutes, that took a long time to warm up. And you're like, yeah, I got to stop doing that. Versus, you were awesome.
Right.
I want to hear that. I want to hear I wasted 4 minutes. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I ain't going to receive it probably, but I'm not going to receive it well from a stranger, more so than Adris. So you come up to me after my show and I don't know you. And you like, you weren't funny till like minute 6. I'm like, motherfucker, get out my face. Yeah. So, yeah, I like that.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
Y'all just illustrated what compromise is and mutual benefits. That blew my mind a little bit, low key.
I feel like it's a lot of couples out there that just don't know how to be in relationships and communicate effectively. We are one of them, but we've grown over the years where we are better at it. And you have to be able to just understand people that the work is the disagreement. the part of work that people talk about when they talk about marriage is the part where you disagree, is the part where you did lie for no reason at all, or you did hurt somebody's feelings, or you were selfish as fuck for no reason at all. And it's gotten to the point where people make so many allowances for you to act that way and that behavior that when they call you on it, you don't see what the big deal is, or you put more of a fight up against them calling you on it than listening to what the gripe is. But hey, once you get in that mindset of turbulence doesn't mean your plane is crashing, and that shit will level out as long as y'all like communicate with each other when you're not upset, then yeah, you will have longevity, because you'll just realize, oh, we had a bad day. Oh, we had a bad 2 days. But if you like, yeah, we ain't spoken months, then that's really on you. You're under the same roof and you're trying to be petty for over a month. And if you're purposefully ignoring each other, that is called being petty, in case you didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll reference Holly Furtick, who is a pastor's wife, Stephen Furtick, who I love and you love to listen to on Sundays in this quarantine.
Forced love, but I'll listen.
He loves it. So Holly said something the other day that I liked. She said, it's okay that if you tend to, argue more than the other couples that you know, that's not necessarily an indicator that, it's burning down, like you just said. But what you don't want is to have the same argument over and over. Like, that needs attention, because then nobody's hearing each other and nobody is trying to change or grow. So,
I agree with all that.
yeah, we are so different that,
like I'm a thug, homie. I'm in these streets. I've been in these streets since I was 18. I left Atlanta, went to Miami. I'm in the Miami streets. I'm trying to get a degree. I'm trying to play football. I'm trying to be a Kappa. I'm trying to be Mr. It on campus, But then I realized once I didn't want to work a 9 to 5, the only way I was going to make money was through relationships. So in order to have great relationships with people and work for yourself, to bring business into your orbit, hey, choose me to do this for you. That's totally different from getting up and just trying to match your shirt and pants and going to, making a commute and going to the office. But that requires relationships, and relationships require being outside of your house, meeting people. So that to this day, 5 years later, 6 years later, a dude that wanted to put me in a movie 10 years ago, I see his name and I hit him up on an email. He has the same email and he hits me back and he's like, yo, I was thinking about you. I watch you on Facebook all the time. Let's do something. I'm like, oh, that's a relationship. We don't know that we don't like each other or that we do like each other, but we do know we have a connection and we didn't burn a bridge where we could come back to each other and say, look what we have done with our careers. I am producing real movies and you are doing real you remember when you said you're going to come out here and take the comedy world by storm and you're going to be on this show and that show? Who would have guessed Saturday Night Live? Who would have guessed, you being on the Disney Channel? They just look at producers look at talent as, did you work? Did you work? When I check in IMDb, is there a credit for the year of 2018? Did someone hire you? Where talent is like, was I on Law and Order? Was I on Empire? You know what I mean? Was I on? It wasn't work. It's all real work. If somebody hired you to just be you, it's real work. And so in that game, it's relationships, bro. And I think that there's a stress when the phone is not ringing. But if the phone is not ringing, it means you've been home in that couch too long thinking that the phone should ring instead of you going out there making the phone ring, And so it's a different type of dynamic when you have a creative mind married to a more structured mind, because the structured mind could have chosen creativity, but they stayed with the structured career path at that given time in their life with benefits, with the sure thing, with the security, with the
Right.
And here's the thing: the creative people need that.
Absolutely.
So you need to latch on to that, because if you find the right person and you're one, both of y'all cover each other. You know what I mean? But that person that's in structure got to respect that creative mind, and vice versa. And you can't be envious of where each other's path has taken them in life. You know, can't. You got to be like, look like fun work to me, but you deserve it because you've been doing it for 20 years. It wasn't always fun, and it wasn't always nothing to do. It wasn't always work. So, yeah, man, don't get me rambling about that, but.
Oh, yeah.
I think you just read a lot of people, though.
How so?
About whether it's creative, right brain being paired with a left brain or a more structured person.
Yeah.
You have to appreciate each other, and it's the balance that makes it work. I think that resonates with a lot of people. That reads me. You just literally read my relationship, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if one's a doctor and one's a teacher, you know, even the doctor is going to be like, so you get summers off? You know what I mean? Somebody's going to complain. And the teacher is just going to be like, you think you big shit walking around that hospital, huh? You know, looking at the doctor. You know what I mean?
Right.
Versus, let alone somebody be in show business and somebody be, you know, freaking contract. I don't know why I always say contract administrator. The only thing I've ever heard growing up was contract administrator. Because when I asked my daddy, what do you do? He said, I'm a contract administrator. And I was like, what does that mean? Is that one of them things where you're a custodial engineer? Right. Is that one of those things?
Garbage man, yeah.
So in my mind, contract administrator is one of the most popular jobs in the history of jobs. But accountant, lawyer, doctor, teacher, whether you're an instructor of some sort, but whatever it is, man, respecting each other's career goals.
Yeah.
I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it. I'll shift it here. You have to be careful talking about you want somebody who has just as much as you, or something to lose, or we have to be on the same level. What does that mean? How many people do you pass up on their journey? They're great for you right now, but they're not on their journey. They're not there at that moment in their journey where it's equal to yours and your journey. They chose something different. But did you laugh? Did you have a great time? Can you not wait to see that person again? And do you not believe in that person enough where you saw what he said he did for a living, or she did, and you saw it and you said, oh, they talented. Now you got to date them for a little while to see how much hustle they have with that talent.
Yeah. You
can be talented and just sit on your ass, and then you're like, well, wait a minute. I think I chose wrong, because you're never going to use this talent that you clearly have. Right. So, but when you dating them and you, what is that? You, the dating, when you're
like vetting them.
When you're vetting them, hey, I can marry this person. Not only is she about to blow up at any minute, but she's amazing. She just needs to be seen. And with my talent, I can hold this down till she is seen. And or with my structure, she can lean up against this until it is what it is, because it's definitely going to happen. She just need to be seen. Mm-hmm. I can't get involved with you and then kick you down and beat you down because you ain't made it yet. I know where you are. I've seen it. Mm-hmm. You trusted me enough to bring me in, and now I'm telling you, why ain't you made it yet? Mm-hmm. No, you don't need to attach that type of person to your life. Once you recognize it for what it is, it's only going to get worse. When people talk like that to you, it's because they would talk like that too.
Right.
So now they're ready to pass it on. Whether they know what they're doing or it's subculturally, it's subliminally in the back of their head, that's how you communicate.
Right.
To put people down by building you up, and or you think you're motivating them. You know.
Right. Whether they know it or not.
Yeah, whether they know it or not. The minute they say, I don't appreciate that type of motivation, you got to change. They ain't got to change. Well, you need to get tougher. I learned that when I first working out with Adris. She wouldn't work out with me for 5 years, because our very first time working out, I said 5 more, 4 more, 3 more. She's like, I don't like that. I do not like that. I do not. I don't know who told you.
Hey, where was this at?
You
LA
was
Fitness?
a trainer.
Yes.
Where was it at?
I don't know who told you was my trainer. Never again. Don't need that.
Oh
Sir.
man.
I can do this by myself.
Oh man.
Me coming from football, that's how two people work out.
Right.
5 more, 4 more. Give me one more. Give me one more. Did you just shout at me? Oh, I don't know. I was just in the moment. I was trying to motivate
I was just
you.
motivating
I was just motivating you. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, no, yeah, that you had to discover what motivates me, I guess.
and everybody's different.
Yeah.
And I had to learn. And it's something that I really like doing, and I want her to do it with me. But I felt like I paid the heavy price not having my partner work out with me just because I was doing the Ray Lewis. You know what I mean? That's how we work out at the U, you know? But, you know, I don't know. I think when it just comes to longevity, and maybe that's the thing of this podcast, you know, there's so many trial and error ways, but I do know forgiveness got to be easily in your top 3. If you got a top 5, forgiveness got to be in your top 3, because you want that person to forgive you just when they left their clothes on the floor, or just when they know you did more work with the kids that day and they let you do it, you know. But then maybe they helped you out the next. Who knows what people were going through in that moment. But if you hold on to that and harbor that, you know, you didn't say my food was delicious, then you're going to have a problem, because it's going to only build up.
Right.
He didn't say it for breakfast with them for dinner. You're like, delicious. And nobody had to tell you. You just was in that mood or mindset to say delicious, and vice versa. I don't know. Forgiveness, intimacy.
Yep.
Can't forget intimacy in a relationship. Why are y'all? Why are you there? Why are you there if you're not being intimate? You just can't be partners. You just can't be we raising kids. You just can't be we paying bills. Why are you there? Because you're freaky. Because you're nasty. And you agreed to do freaky, nasty stuff with that person and that person only. So, you know, don't let your relationship go to a roommate status.
Yeah, that
Is that a
that's
is that
what
a hashtag?
differentiates your relationship from every other relationship in your life. Is that this is the person I'm intimate with? So I'm intimate with this person.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not being intimate with you, then you're like my coworker. You're my girlfriend at work. You're my, you know, what's different? What's the difference?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Absolutely. Jeannie, what
So-
you think? Jeannie,
Agreed. Yeah, y'all see me.
Jeannie
I'm
texting
quiet.
Jeannie texting his wife right now. I told you.
Hey, I'm taking notes this episode. It was a couple keys in there.
Well, here's a major key. The way you talk to each other is important. It's really key. And I put the way you talk to each other, but it's basically / respect.
Mm-hmm.
You have to talk to a person in a language that they can receive it, understand it, and communicate with you back.
No, I was going to say that, you know, during quarantine, I definitely feel like, I think you would agree, there was an adjustment period. There was a crazy time period. And like you said earlier, we broke up 10 times.
I didn't say 10 times.
Part of
We
that
broke
was
up
true.
twice. We broke up twice. We legitimately broke up twice.
No bags were packed, but
No bags were packed, but it was literally like 4 a.m. The TV light shining on us in a dark room. And we like, well, leave. Well, you leave, bro.
Y'all are
Well, who we going to talk to? 'Cause we got to talk to somebody. Someone could get this paperwork going. It's just saying that stuff in the moment of you being hurt.
right.
You know,
Right,
where it's
right.
like, yo, fine.
Yeah.
You know, don't keep me from my daughters. I want to see them. You know, or me being petty. Well, I want the girls.
That's when you just laugh.
right.
That's me knowing I don't want them. I do want them, but I'm like, I want the girls. I want custody.
I want full custody.
Full custody. I'll let you know when you can visit them. And her
No,
just,
but-
you know, all them types of, man. We
But
did
all
it.
the things that, you know, you brush under the rug, and you're able to do that easily because you're not physically in each other's space all day. You know,
Yeah.
I go to my job, you go out of town, when we come together, it's easy just to, brush everything under the rug and get through the day without really dealing with whatever those little things are that,
that would get on your nerves. Or
yeah.
that would,
What do they call the moles that spoil the, what is it, Jeannie?
Morgan Freeman's face.
No.
Oh my!
I'm sorry. It was just an alley-oop. I'm sorry.
So, yeah. So in quarantine, it's like there's nowhere to run to. There's no, there's no distractions, and it's like, okay, guess we have to deal with this,
Right.
So yeah, at first it was like,
I think it was a great time for relationship, marriage, boot camp. It was a great
boot camp.
time.
Yes.
It was a great time to be around each other without distractions.
Yeah.
And really being honest with yourself, like, do we click?
yeah.
Not the stress or the outside world of not having money or not having groceries or not having a job, but are we getting along and are we working as a team during this time? Do we click?
Right.
Are we finding stuff for us? Are we finding things we can do outside of kids or outside of this crazy world where we're like, at least we have each other. At least we're together. Because if you're not talking like that during this time, then you really need to reevaluate your relationship. Because if you ain't going to Home Depot and the grocery store together and everywhere else you can go together, and that's your new date life, and just being like, yo, we gonna make it through this. If you still like quarantining, but you want to be away from each other 24 hours, 24/7, you ain't kiss each other in the mouth for 3 weeks, if at all, it's sex, but y'all ain't even looking at each other. It was doggy style. Like, it's just like something is missing, So, yeah. Anyway, people, I hope y'all got something out of all of this. I want to thank my main man, my producer, Jeannie D's, and my beautiful wife, Adris DeBarge.
Hey.
This was fun. Yeah. This is great.
I love it when you come through and lay down that perspective. You come from such a perspective, not only of just women and motherhood, but of being God-fearing and just a level-headed person. And a lot of women are like, I've been told that, so I'm just relaying that to you. All right?
Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll see y'all again. Rate, subscribe, and review.
Yeah.
Understand
Let us know
this.
what you want to hear.
Absolutely. Yo, one more again, it's your friend Finesse Mitchell. We did another episode of Understand This. We sorry we left you for so long, but we are back. We back on our grind. Please expect us regularly. At least once a week. We on Spotify, we on YouTube, we are on Apple Podcasts. We are on everywhere you can get a podcast. It's called Understand This.